Hello everybody and welcome back. It is Michael from Hollow Thrills back in the video, and welcome to day 2 of our hallowed summer of thrills roller coaster theme park road trip. And today, if you could tell by the coaster behind me, we are at Six Flags over Georgia. So we went a little bit north from Wild Adventures and stopped up here in Atlanta for Six Flags over Georgia. Now, you may be wondering, okay, why is that coaster behind me? Because for once it's actually open. I am flabbergasted. We've already been through a couple coasters, so I will talk about them in a little bit. Before we get into anything though, please make sure you're subscribed and have the notifications turned on to get notified whenever I post a video. And also make sure you're following both Instagram and Twitter. The links are down in the description below. But let me give you a recap of what we've done already, because we have already been through a couple things here that I wanted to get done super fast before I really started filming for you guys. So like I said, Kid Flash Cosmic Coaster has been closed for quite some time here at Six Flags over Georgia. And we were on Daredevil Dive, which is, you could probably see just through those trees there. That was our first coaster that we got here right as we got in the park, because terrible ride throughput. So we decided to get that as soon as we possibly could. And then we saw this running as we were getting off, and we hightailed it over here because yeah, this coaster goes down a lot, and I wanted to make sure that I got the credit. So 2 credits down in this park already out of 11, I believe, and the park literally just opened. So I'm so glad that I got this credit. Very rough coaster though. Like, it has some cool theming and everything, and I love the whole idea of it. But just in general, like, you could feel every rivet going over the wheels. It just was not very enjoyable. I mean, it's a kiddie coaster, so there isn't too much like to it. I mean, it's not really painful, but it's just very bumpy, very kind of, it's just really weird. But I do like the panels on it. That is really awesome. But I'm not going to complain too much about it because we were able to get on it today, and I was not anticipating that. So I'm glad that we can check that off our list here. Next up, we have an Ace roller coaster landmark, the Riddler Mind Bender. This is a very, very interesting model coaster, but I am very excited for it as it just opened or reopened last year after being rethemed and kind of just overhauled. So super excited to finally get a ride on this coaster. The Riddler Mindbender, Schwarzkopf Looper, not too bad. There were a couple elements like where we bottomed out at the bottom of a hill that were a bit jostly, a bit rough, but the loops were fairly smooth, and really the rest of the coaster is fairly smooth. I just don't like these Schwarzkopf restraints. The seats are just too narrow, and the lap bars kind of sit a little weird. But I mean, not bad coaster. And with the refurbishment, I feel like it's probably better than it was. But still, a super awesome coaster to get in an awesome historical landmark here at Six Flags over Georgia. But we are already done 3 coasters here. We're gonna get our last coaster here in the Gotham section, that being Batman the Ride. Of course, it's another Batman clone, but we're gonna go and get that next, and then we're gonna go and get Abby's 100th coaster. She has not decided on what she wants it to be yet, whether it be Twisted Cyclone or Goliath here, but she's kind of between the 2 of them, and I'll have to I'm gonna wait in line whatever she decides to choose. But right now we've been flying through lines because the park's fairly dead because it just opened today, and it's only a Friday, so it's not too crowded just yet. All right, we got off Batman the Ride. Not great. I mean, it's Batman the Ride. They're all about the same. This one did have some forces, but we were in the back, so it's kind of expected on a B&M invert for it to have some forces. But now we're on our way to Abby's 100th coaster, and what have you decided on?
We're gonna do Goliath, I think.
You chose Goliath over an RMC?
Yes, you know, I am such a, can I say the word?
You can say it.
I am such a slut for RMCs. I blame Michael. But we're gonna do Goliath because you said it's like the #1 type of coaster kind of thing. Yeah,
people say that it is one of the best B&M hypers here in the South, so we're gonna put that to the test. We'll have to see, but it looks like Goliath is our next stop. I will say Goliath is a bit of a weird one. So it is technically a hyper because it does have a lift hill height of 200 feet, but it only drops 175. So it's kind of like a reverse. Orion, where the height is actually the where it needs to be, but the drop isn't. Whereas Orion is the height does not reach it, but the drop does. So Goliath was okay. Very interesting that the helix went downwards. It was a downward helix on this. I don't really think I've ever seen that on a B&M Hyper here before. Most of them go upwards, so that was, I believe, a first for me. Do I think it's the best B&M Hyper in the South? Not really. I mean, I think that Mako is a little bit better still. As much as I'm a Mako hater, I feel like that Mako's still a better Hyper than this. But I mean, it's still a nice overall ride and probably the best coaster we've been on here so far at OverGeorgia. Now here is MonsterMansion. The line is a bit long right now, so we're not going to go on it just yet. We just want to knock out our coasters first. So we're going to turn around and head down to DC Super Friends as the Joker Funhouse coaster is over there. Here it is, Joker Funhouse. It's a very interesting facade for a kiddie coaster. Well, technically, I guess it's a family coaster, but still looks pretty nice. I mean, not too bad. We'll have to see if it's really rough, though. Now, was that a bad coaster? No, not really, but the restraints have no padding, and they need to get down so far, and my thighs are too big, so that kind of hurt, not gonna lie. Thank God that there was no, like, bunny hills in that, so it didn't really hurt my thighs too much, but just the pressure of it having to come down did really hurt. But we're gonna walk past the construction area for Georgia Surfer, which is the new coaster here that is yet to open. And we're gonna head over and get on Superman and then kind of work our way back around to this part of the park. But yeah, we're gonna go and take a look at the construction though for Georgia Surfer first. Yep, so here is the construction currently going on for Georgia Surfer. Track work is done. Yeah, so the spike is all the way up there. It is done. But as far as the actual like plumbing and foundation work for the water, it's not done. Oh, hey, look, there's a little puppy dog. But yeah, so the ride and the station are nowhere close to being actually done. I will say though, it does look much shorter than I thought it would. I thought the length between each of the spikes would be a little bit further. I'm interested to see how much speed it's actually going to be able to pick up. But it looks fun. We might have to come back to ride it once it does actually open. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Al Harrington's Wacky Waving Inflatable Arm Flailing Tube Men. Wacky Wailing Inflatable Arm Flailing Tube Men. Right next to Superman's Ultimate Flight, the flying coaster that I've basically been on at Six Flags Great Adventure. It's the exact same thing, but should be fun. Just another credit to add to the list. All right. Well, I said they were all about the same. Now that one's a bit different. It's the same as the one in Great Adventure, except Great Adventure is much better. That one was painfully rough. A lot of bumping, a lot of bouncing, a lot of kind of jostling, not very smooth. Comparative between the two of them, like I said, Great Adventure is a little bit better, but it's still the same exact coaster model, same exact track. There's no really major difference other than just this one being 1,000 times rougher. Now, next up is the Great American Scream Machine. It's a wooden coaster. Not really looking forward to it though, because I have heard that it is a bit painful, but we'll have to see. I'll form my own opinion on it. Yeah, so I know I said I was going to form my own opinion on it, and my own opinion is the same as everybody else's. Ouch. Yeah, that hurt. Very bumpy, very rough. The restraints hurt. My hips are too wide for those. That really hurt. Yeah, not a great coaster overall. They either need to start replacing some track on that or do a major refurb on it, or just remove it all in general, just because that was not great. I've ridden some rough wooden coasters in my day, but that one is high up there as being one of the roughest I've been on. Yikes. But we are going to head over to Blue Hawk next, I believe. And then that is the last coaster, I think, on this side of the park. And then we got to head over to the other side where Twisted Cyclone and Georgia Scorcher are. So I actually got 2 rides on Blue Hawk. There was basically no line for it. So I was able to go off and get on one ride and then basically move into a different row for my second ride. First ride was not too bad. Second ride was actually better than I was anticipating. I moved into the back row for my second ride, and I was anticipating it being a lot rougher than it actually was, and it wasn't too bad. The only issue is that the restraints are those vest restraints, the Vekoma vest restraints, so it was digging into my shoulders and my collarbone a little bit, but overall it wasn't really too bad. Pretty enjoyable ride, and the amount of like close miss and head chopper moments that they have on this coaster is awesome. I love those. They really add an extra thrill to it, so it's a pretty decent coaster here, and probably my top 3 here at the park so far. Well, after a quick stop for lunch, I have finally made an executive decision. In the effort to get my 250th coaster credit on this trip, I am breaking one of my own rules. So normally I don't count dueling coasters or racing coasters as 2 separate credits, but I believe that Kid Flash is different enough on both sides to warrant counting it as 2 separate credits. So I am going to go back and ride the other side of Kid Flash and get another credit on there. Like I said, normally I don't do that, but I think it's different, just different enough for me to be able to count it. The other side of Cosmic Coaster wasn't too bad. I mean, it's, like I said, basically about the same thing. It does have a couple more areas of it going over top the other one than the other side did, but now we're going on the Georgia Scorcher. I have put it off long enough. I'm not a big fan of stand-up coasters, but like I said, it's time to finally face my fears. And it is actually 25 years for the Georgia Scorcher. So, I mean, it has to be good, right? If it's been around for that long. Yeah, opinions have not changed about stand-up coasters. That hurts. Hurts the family jewels. Not great. Yeah, I just do not like them, and I don't like the over-the-shoulder restraints on them either. They just, the constant headbanging, and there's just no comfort whatsoever on that coaster, even any of those coasters. I just don't like them. The headbang wasn't too bad on that one, but yeah, just the little thing between the legs, just get rid of it, please. It doesn't need to be there. Yeah, tear that piece of shit down. It's awful. But we're on our way over to Twisted Cyclone, and then we have one more coaster after that, and then that's basically it. Oh, and we gotta get on MonsterMansion, of course. Twisted Cyclone compared to Air Force One. Yeah, it's no contest. Air Force One is obviously the best RMC here in the state of Georgia. This one is okay. There's nothing really to write home about. I kind of like the faux Cobra roll that they have here, where it's a corkscrew up to the kind of the turnaround point, and then it corkscrews back down off of the initial drop. I kind of do like that. Overall, though, it's just kind of a boring layout. With a couple painful bunny hills that really eject you out of your seat and really dig that lap bar into your lap. I mean, it kind of reminds me of Twisted Timbers at King's Dominion, which I'm already not a fan of, but I do think Twisted Timbers is a better coaster overall than this one. But I feel like they're kind of about the same, on the same playing field of them being both equally painful, in my opinion. Twisted Timbers may be a little bit more painful, but still about the same kind of style of RMC, though. Kind of one of those smaller models. And it's time for our last coaster here in Georgia, the Dahlonega Mine Train. And this is just a normal mine train coaster model, nothing too spectacular, but it's a nice, relaxing coaster to kind of finish out our time here in Georgia. Yes, so there are a set amount of types of mine trains I do not like because of their restraints being basically a bar that comes down for everyone, because the point where it needs to get to for it to lock is very low. So it crushes the crap out of my thighs, and that was one of them. So I was fighting for my life the entire ride. It is not very thick thigh friendly of a ride. It was pretty cool. It was a decent length ride, but yeah, that one hurt the thighs a bit. A little bit of a thigh crush there, but I don't know, not too bad. Probably one of my least favorite coasters here, to be honest, but I don't know. It's nothing to write home about. But that is it as far as coasters go here. The last thing that we are going to do before we head out for the day is unfortunately take a ride on the MonsterMansion. I have been told that it is very great. I know it's going to be great, but it's just the submechnophobia in me is just not going to like it. I'm just not going to enjoy it. But we're going to go on it anyways because I heard that it is a very good mine ride. Sorry, a very good dark ride. So let's head over to MonsterMansion and get our ride on that. Glad we decided to come back later to get this because there is no line whatsoever now. There was a line that was across that bridge, but now there is nothing. So we're going to head right on. We're heading to the Monster Picnic. The humans are allowed. And very, very interesting so far. Oh man, we got a free kissing booth. See, we're fine right now. We're fine. It's all happy. It's all fun. But it's gonna turn bad real soon, and I'm not gonna like it. I just know it. I just no. Oh, I am not liking this. This is way too dark. I do not like this in the slightest. I am. Oh yeah. Not liking this. Yeah. No. I hate this with a burning passion. Everything about this is not fun. Everything is not awesome. Oh, I don't like this at all. I hate this. My eyes are basically closed at this point. No. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like you. That is a big rat monster. I do not like this. I do not like this.
It's looking at me.
No.
Light that fuse.
Okay, kind of back to normal.
Fire!
We're kind of back to normal. Okay.
For you guys, I found this here cannon.
Oh, thank God. Okay. Liars! You said this is good. Oh, I don't like this. And we died. The end. I made it out alive. But I left something back there with me, man. That was, that was about as bad as I was anticipating it being. It started off really nice, started off really cool, but that is one of the scariest dark rides I've ever been on. That is terrifying. Is it cool? Yeah. Did I enjoy it? Kind of, but no, it's way too scary, man, for a dark ride at this type of theme park, man. I don't know about that. I don't know. It's just way too dark in there. Way too not for me. But we're gonna start on our way out to the front. We might pick up some merchandise, and I'll kind of show that before we head out. But other than that, we're basically done here. We got all 11 credits that we needed to get here. Well, actually, technically 12 if we count both sides of Kid Flash. So, and we got it done in about 5 hours, and we also had to stop for lunch, so that's not too bad. So we had to try two different gift shops. We had to try Coastal Gifts and Twisted Cyclone Gifts to find any sort of pins. I eventually found this Twisted Cyclone one with a spinning sign. I thought that was pretty cool, and then Abby found this one. I mean, there really isn't a lot of options here as far as Six Flags, like pins and merch like that. They definitely need like a big kind of SixFlagsOverGeorgia specific store because they really don't have that here. But that is going to be it here at SixFlagsOverGeorgia for day 2, stop 1. Over Georgia it's a pretty decent Six Flags park. I mean, I wouldn't say it's probably one of my favorites. I wouldn't say it's probably one of my least favorites. It's just kind of middle of the road as far as Six Flags parks go. There are some high points. Twisted Cyclone's a decent RMC. Goliath's a decent B&M Hyper. And they definitely have a very interesting collection of coasters here. And then MonsterMansion, although it is absolutely terrifying, is a very good dark ride. So there are a couple high spots of things that you definitely need to come here and check out. But overall, a great day here at OverGeorgia and a great second day here for our theme park trip. I hope you guys are enjoying this so far. Get ready for our next day. But if you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure you drop a like and also comment down below. Have you been to this park? And if you have, what was your favorite ride here? I'd like to know. But as always, I'm Michael from Hollow Thrills, giving you the all clear. And all clear means you're out of here. See you guys next time.